In today's biased news, union workers win big against Tesla in Sweden. Half of Gaza's population faces starvation. And the FDA approves gene editing treatment for sickle cell anemia. Starting with some positive news, Tesla faces escalating troubles with labor unions in Scandinavia, particularly Sweden. The issue arose when Sweden's postal service, PostNord, refused to deliver license plates to Tesla in solidarity with mechanics striking over the company's refusal to sign a collective bargaining agreement, a customary practice in Sweden. Despite legal action taken by Tesla, a Swedish court ruled in favor of PostNord, stating that the postal service is not obligated to deliver their license plates. Tesla's situation has worsened as class solidarity strikes spread across Scandinavia, with various unions supporting the principle of collective bargaining. Workers from different Swedish industries, Denmark's largest trade union, and Norway's largest private sector union have joined the strikes. Even Finland's transport workers union has confirmed a blockade on Tesla vehicles destined for Sweden. Denmark's largest pension fund announced the sale of its Tesla stock, worth $68.8 million, citing Tesla's refusal to engage with labor unions. The pension fund affirmed its commitment to responsible investments based on international conventions and agreements, including those related to labor rights. The conflict highlights a broader ideological clash and growing class consciousness, as workers grow to better understand the extent of their power over their capitalist employers. The fact that Tesla is refusing to allow even the most basic social democratic norms like collective bargaining contradicts the Scandinavian economic model, which emphasizes the importance of such agreements to ensure workers' rights to negotiate wages, vacation, overtime pay, and other conditions. As starvation grips at least half of Gaza's 2.2 million population, Kogat, the Israeli military body responsible for Palestinian civil affairs, says a border crossing between Israel and Gaza is to be opened. The group said it expanded its, quote, capabilities to conduct inspections for the aid delivery into Gaza, but went on to baselessly blame the UN for not delivering enough aid through the currently open Rafah crossing with Egypt, despite the fact that the Israeli military has been bombing the Rafah area and are themselves the cause of the horrific circumstances the Palestinian people are facing, including the rampant spread of disease, dehydration, and starvation. This, of course, doesn't include the destruction of all of Gaza's hospitals, relentless bombing of residential areas, and raids in the West Bank. Israeli occupation forces have been telling Palestinians that a humanitarian zone has been established in southern Gaza, and have instructed 1.9 million Palestinians to flee there. However, the area specified is a desolate patch of sand, with an area of about 6.5 square kilometers, just half the area of London's Heathrow Airport, and it lacks infrastructure for providing humanitarian aid and resources. West Africa's regional bloc, ECOWAS, has established a committee of 3 leaders from Togo, Sierra Leone, and Benin to negotiate with Niger's military leadership. The goal is to facilitate a transition to civilian rule, and potentially ease sanctions imposed on Niger. The committee will work on a short transition roadmap and aim for the swift restoration of constitutional order. If Niger complies with the outcomes of the negotiations, ECOWAS plans to progressively ease sanctions. Otherwise, further sanctions will be imposed, as well as the possible use of force. For context, warnings of military intervention have been repeated for months now, with, so far, no action to back it up. According to new CNN polls, Donald Trump holds an advantage over Joe Biden in 2 crucial battleground states, Michigan and Georgia. In Georgia, where Biden won narrowly in 2020, Trump is favored by 49% of registered voters compared to Biden's 44%. In Michigan, where Biden won by a larger margin, Trump has the support of 50% of voters, while Biden trails with 40% and 10% express no preference for either candidate. Notably, the percentage of voters who wouldn't support either is significant in both states, and is comparable to the margin between Biden and Trump. To no one's surprise, the polls suggest that Trump and Biden are the frontrunners for their respective parties in the upcoming US elections, with primary challengers for Biden struggling to gain traction, and Trump crushing his GOP rivals in various polls. In today's lightning round, Zelensky will meet with Biden at the White House, marking his 3rd visit since the Ukraine war began. The visit comes among stalled congressional negotiations on emergency aid for Ukraine, with discussions involving immigration and border policy changes. Hungary refuses to approve EU accession talks with Ukraine, setting the stage for a potential showdown at the upcoming EU summit. Despite support from other EU states, Hungary, led by Prime Minister Viktor Orban, threatens to veto aid and enlargement talks. China is expected to offer grants to support upgraded rail links and infrastructure projects in Vietnam during President Xi Jinping's visit. The potential aid includes the improvement of the Kunming-Haiphong rail route. The move will likely strengthen ties between the two nations, and could impact Western backers, such as the US, which have primarily offered loans, not aid, for Vietnam's infrastructure projects. And in positive news for the day, the United States FDA has approved the country's first treatment based on CRISPR gene editing technology. The treatment, called Exa-cel, developed by Vertex Pharmaceuticals and CRISPR Therapeutics, is designed to treat sickle cell disease, a genetic disorder of the blood cells. CRISPR technology is used to edit genes in a one-time treatment, potentially leading to a functional cure. The FDA also approved another gene therapy called Lovo-cel from Bluebird Bio for sickle cell disease. Both therapies aim to increase the population of healthy blood cells, providing new options for patients with limited treatment choices. The approval marks a significant advancement in the field of gene therapy, and offers hope for patients with genetic disorders. That's all for today. We'll be back on Wednesday with more news. If you appreciate the work we're doing, consider becoming a patron to support the channel. All patrons get early access to our analysis episodes, as well as an audio version of the news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.